Good morning, greetings of the day. Myself, I am R. Usha, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE and AI and ML. So today I am going to discuss about compiler and what is the compilation process and what are the phases of a compiler. So in this case, first compiler. So coming to the definition of a compiler is a program, so which is like a software. So where exactly it is a program which is taking a source level or source program. So source program, either it can be like a C or C++. So if it is given to a compiler, so it will translate the source program, whatever it is given, to the a mission understandable language, which is called as a target program. So this is the process. So your language translation. So already we know that a system cannot understand what a human can understand. So system knows only ones and zeros. So what we are doing means, so whatever the program, high level language program, so which is now source program, which is given to a compiler. So what the compiler will do means, it will translates. So it will take the source program and it will translate it into a mission understandable language. So which can be treated as a low level language program, or else it can be called as a target program. So while doing the translation process based on the syntax of a particular programming language, whenever you are having errors, it will report the errors. But in this case, what we are doing means, in the case of a compiler, already you know that the translation process won't stop even if you are going to come across errors here. So other than that, if you are seeing an interpreter, whenever any error occurs, what the interpreter will do means, so it will report the error, and until unless it is rectified, it is not going for the translation of the next line. So there is a basic difference between a compiler and an interpreter. So in the case of a compiler, it will translate the entire program in a single pass. And when we are seeing this one, we will be having a different types of compilers, which will be treated as a single pass compiler, multi-pass, and load and go, debugger, cross compiler. So based on the usage of a compilers, we will be having a number of compilers here. So this is the thing, but as it is shown like this, so where the source program is entirely translated to target program, but that it is not that much easy. So what we are doing means, the entire process which will be divided into phases. So here we'll be having a 6 phases of a translation process: lexical analysis, or we can call it as lexical analyzer. So where you are giving the source program as a input, and which will be given to the lexical analyzer, and whatever the output you are going to get, we are making it to the syntax analyzer. In the same way, semantic, so intermediate code generator, code optimizer, and final phase, code generator. The output of the code generator will be the target program, or else you can call it as assembly program or a low level language program. So these are the 6 different phases of the compilation process. So the entire process, whatever you are having, it is going to be divided into 6 different phases, and the 6 phases are listed here. So where each and every phase output, whatever you are going to generate, which will be acting as an input for the next stage. So whenever any program is given to the lexical analyzer, remaining 5 phases should be in idle mode until unless the lexical analyzer, whatever the output is generated, it will be fed to the syntax. In the same way, syntax, whenever it is going to generate the output, up to that semantic will be. So along with these 6 phases, you will be having 2 more things in the translation process. One is a error handler and another is a symbol table. So which is going to be communicated with all the phases of a compiler. So what is the role of a error handler means? Already we know that if any error is encountered, so until unless it is rectified, we are not going for the next phase. But in the case of a compiler, what we are doing means, whenever it is going to get any error, so somehow we are managing with that one by making use of a error handling routines, whatever are present in the error handler. By making use of them, we are going to complete the complete translation process, and finally reporting the errors at the last. Along with that, symbol table is why you are using the symbol table means, it is a data structure whenever any new variable comes or whenever you are having any values to be stored, everything you are going to be stored in the symbol table. So I'm going to explain the same compilation process by making use of a simple expression. So where the expression will be, so I'm taking position is equals to initial plus rate into 60. So I'm taking an expression like position is equals to initial plus rate into 60, where position, initial and rate will be of floating point numbers. So how the translation process is going to be continued means, already we know that whenever you are giving a source program as a C or C++, already you know that header files will be added into that, and along with the header files, you are making use of a main, and after that you are writing the complete program. So already you know that whenever you are giving any program, line by line it is going to be read, and whenever you are having any delimiters like a space or any slash and like that if you are having, so based on that you are going to generate the program into smallest pieces, which will be named as a token, and the token can be anything. So if you are taking an example as a C programming, a token can be an identifier or a constant or an operator like that. So what we are doing means, whenever I am taking position is equals to initial plus rate into 60, as this is my input for the compiler, so what it is going to do means, so already I told you that what the lexical analyzer will be doing means, it will take the complete line whatever you are given, position is equals to initial plus rate into 60, and another name of a lexical analyzer is the scanner, and the name itself it indicates that scanner which will scan the input from left to right, and whenever it is coming across a delimiter, what it is going to generate means, for the particular lexeme it is going to generate a token, and after generating a token what it is going to do means, so whatever that identifier you are getting, it will be stored in the symbol table. So here position is one token, position, initial, rate. So these are the identifiers of the given program, and along with that if you see the operators, you will be having plus and star, and equal to will be an assignment operator, and along with that you will be having one constant value 60 here. So like this, the complete whatever the expression, it is going to be divided into a form of tokens here. So for each and every token you are generating, you are going to give a part. So ID1, ID2 and ID3 will be generated. So this is the output what you are getting from the lexical analyzer. So you are giving an expression. For that expression, it is going to generate a tokens like this. A token can be a smallest part of a given program. So once after getting the tokens, the next phase immediately what you are having is a syntax analyzer. So whatever the tokens that are generated, that will be acting as an input for the syntax analyzer. And for generating these type of tokens, you are making use of regular expressions. Regular expressions, and within that you will be having, so already everyone knows that for the regular expressions to generate a particular language, we are making use of a DFA, whether they are have a language has been generated correctly or not. So after the lexical analyzer, immediately the same tokens will be given to the syntax analyzer. In the case of a syntax analyzer, you are going to check the syntax of the particular program, whether that particular tokens, whatever they have been generated, whether they are following all the syntax rules of a particular program or not. So the expression whatever you are getting, it will be converted like this. ID1 is equals to ID2 plus ID3 star 60. So this is the output of the syntax. So now if it is going to given to the syntax analyzer, the output will be a syntax tree, which is going to generate or which is going to represent a particular syntax of a particular programming language construct. So ID3 star 60. Either it can be called as a parse tree or a derivation tree. So this will be acting as an input for the next phase, that is a semantic analyzer phase. In the case of a semantic analyzer phase, the input will be a parse tree and the output will be the same parse tree or the same syntax tree, but it is going to check for the type mismatches, if any type mismatch is there, or else already you know that the C program is having a strongest constraint with the types. So internal type conversion will be taken care by the compiler itself. So what we are doing means, already initially I told you that position, initial and rate I am going to consider them as a floating point numbers. Now 60 will be an integer number or integer constant. Now in this case what we are going to do means, whenever you are going to give this one as an input for the semantic, So it is going to generate the same parse tree, but at each and every node, it is going to represent the type of this particular one. So here you are going to convert that one into to real of 60, or else we can represent like this. So the number, whatever you are having the integer constant, it is going to be converted into a real number. So this is the syntax tree. After giving to the semantic analyzer, you are going to get the same tree. So where exactly each and every node we can represent with a floating point numbers, as the type is that one only. So which will be treated as a annotated tree here. So input to the semantic analyzer will be a syntax tree and the output will be a annotated tree here. Now the same annotated tree will be given as an input for the next phase, that is the intermediate code generator, ICG. So intermediate code generator. So what the intermediate code will do means, so it will take whatever the syntax tree is given. So it is going to be converted into a one more form other than the source language and the target language. So that particular one will be treated as an intermediate code, and it can be like a abstract syntax tree or a postfix expression or 3-address code. So the output of this intermediate code can be any of these forms. One is the abstract syntax trees and postfix expression or the 3-address code. And within this 3-address code, either it can be a quadruple, triple, or indirect triples. So either of this form it is going to generate. So whatever the syntax tree now we have given, for that I am going to generate a 3-address code for that one. So that is ID temporary 1. I am storing the value of ID 1 and ID2 will be copied, and then temporary 2 is equals to, or else you can take it as temp2. So first initially whenever you are taking an expression, so what exactly it will be having means position is equals to initial plus rate into 60. Now it is translated to ID1 plus ID2, ID1 is equals to ID2 plus ID3 star 60. So when you are seeing the operator symbols, so first I have to evaluate the star, right? So for that what we are doing means, initially I'm going to store temp1 is equals to whatever ID2 you are having or ID3 you are having, ID3 into 60. After getting this ID3 star 60, whatever the value that you are going to get, ID2 plus that particular value, that is which is already present in temp1. Now temp3 is equals to whatever the complete value you are having, you can store directly, or else what we are doing means temp3 is equals to temp2. So the final ID2 means nothing but ID2 plus ID3 star 60. Finally, the complete value is there in the temp1 now, which can be copied to ID1 is equals to temp3. So the same thing, whenever you are seeing the intermediate code generator, this can be the output. So what is the next phase means? The next phase is a code optimization. Optimization is nothing but you need to reduce the number of lines of the code without changing the integrity of the program. So that is after optimization. So whatever the output you are getting, it should be the same before optimization. Without changing the integrity or without disturbing the output, you have to optimize. So if you see this one, the same 4 lines can be written as, I can directly modify temp1 is equals to ID3 star 60, that is 60.0, as it is a floating point number. Now directly I can write it as ID1 is equals to ID2 star whatever the temp1 you are having the values. So if you are seeing this one, the finally, so whenever you are translating knowingly or unknowingly, you are making use of many temporary variables wherever required. So after going for the optimization phase, so you are going to optimize the code whatever you are getting. And remember that the optimization is not a mandatory thing here. So wherever a possibility is there, there only are going for the minimization or the optimization of a code, and either it can be done on the depending on the target mission where you are going to run, or without considering the properties of the target mission also you are going to optimize the code. And finally, once after getting the optimized code, what we are doing means you are going to give it to the code generator. So code generator, what it will do means it is going to generate a code which will be very similar to the assembly code, or else you can call it as a low level language program. So which will be like, so if you are seeing this one, by making of a resistors, so I'm going to take or move f, as f is a floating point number, move f, I'm considering a resistors R1 and R2. So R1 comma whatever the 60 you are having, so whatever the 60 you are having, that 60 will be moved here. So move R1 comma 60. Now the resistor 1 is holding 60. Now what you are doing, immediately you are having a multiplication operation. So multiply whatever the thing you are having, that is R1 comma ID3. Now what you are doing means, whatever the R1 value already you are having, it is going to be multiplied with the ID3, and final result is going to be stored in once again R1. Now R1 contains ID3 into 60. Now what you are doing means, after that, what is the next operation to be performed? It is add. So for adding, what we are doing means, so before going for the add, once again you need the value of, what is that one? ID2. So in between, use one more operation, move f comma, that is register 2 comma ID2. Why? Because operations will be performed directly on the registers, not with the values. So what we are doing means, so here move f R2 comma ID2, so which will be move or add R1 comma R2, so which is going to perform the addition of these two, and the final result will be stored in the R1. Finally, whatever the result you are getting, you are going to move that one into ID1. So whenever you are making use of a registers, so already you know that if you are going to make use of a registers, whatever the cost of the particular instruction for the evaluation of a particular instruction, it will be very less. So the cost of instruction when you are fetching the value from a registers will be always, it will be 0 only. So like this you are translating. So whatever the source program you have given, for that you are going to get a mission understandable language. Sometimes it will be treated as an assembly language where you are making use of a mnemonic codes like move, mul, add, like that you are using. So this is the total compilation process. So after compilation process, that is once the complete program is translated, whatever the errors you are getting in this particular translation process, everything will be listed at the bottom of the program. So within the 6 phases, we can make it as a 2 groups, like a front end and back end, or else you can call it as an analysis phase or a synthesis phase. So analysis, the total compilation process can be given with a simple statement: compilation process is equals to analysis of source program plus synthesis of target program. So when you are going to group like this, analysis phase. So analysis of the source program. So if you are listing the 6 phases of a compiler, whatever the phases that are depending directly on the source program will be treated as a which will be depending on the source program will be treated as a phases for the analysis. Like, so the first phase, lexical analyzer, syntax, semantic and intermediate code. Up to these 4 phases, they are depending directly on the source program. So we can group them as a analysis phase, and the rest of the 2, whatever the final 2 phases you are having, code optimization and code generation, they don't know what is the source program. They know only the intermediate code, whatever it is generated. So those 2 phases will be treated as an independent of the source program, and they are depending only on the target program. So first 4 phases will be grouped for the analysis, and the last 2 phases will be grouped for the synthesis of a target program. So the entire compilation process will be given with analysis of a source program plus synthesis of a target program. And already I told you that whenever you are going for the grouping phases, first 4 phases only depends on the source program. They doesn't know on which target mission they are going to be executed. So first 4 phases are the source language dependent and target mission independent, and the last 2 phases, they doesn't know what is the source program they are going to be translated. They know only whatever the intermediate code is given and on which mission they are going to get executed. So this is the total compilation process. So compilation is equals to analysis of source program plus synthesis of a target program, and it is a language translator. Already I mentioned. So compiler is a language translator where exactly it is taking the high level language program, any program, and it is going to convert them into a mission understandable language where a mission can understand, and whatever the task it is given, that is going to be completed. So thank you.